All right, Christopher, Paul, what's the show today?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I was hoping you guys had somebody booked.
We've kind of run through the faculty, and the faculty we haven't run through is in the middle of getting ready to finish up the semester.
Right.
So
Yeah, final exams coming. So
Yeah.
I wonder
people are going to be graduating.
who could we snag? You know who I'd like to hear from?
Who, Don?
You know what was his name? Used to sit over at the end of the table.
Where
Kinda-
these white headphones?
Yeah, used to kind of do some of the engineering and the behind the scenes stuff.
Engineer guy.
What's his name? Is it Kevin?
Sean?
Yeah,
Scott.
It was
Okay.
Scott.
Scott,
Very
the
nice.
engineer.
Wonder what the chances of us being able to snag Scott
he was
again.
here and then he disappeared
Then-
without explanation.
Just
I know.
vaporized.
It was
Yeah, it was the strangest thing.
Huh.
Yeah,
One
he
of
was
the
a nice
great
guy.
mysteries.
You know,
Hang
I
on.
think.
Let me see if I can conjure him.
okay.
Ooh.
Let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Do we have to?
No.
Okay.
Scott, speak to us. Dun dun dun. It's Scott Cloudus.
Who are you?
Hello.
It's
Now
Scott
we
the
will-
engineer.
We
Hi,
will
Scott.
solve the
Engineer.
mystery of what became of Scott the engineer.
I'm not dead. I've just been stuck at Buffalo Gap.
Oh, okay.
Back from Buffalo Gap for a one-time only appearance.
Yeah.
All right, so what have you been doing since last you were on our show?
Well, Don, I have been running the Buffalo Gap Historic Village, which is the Taylor County History Center now.
That is a blast from the past.
It is. It's a small world how things come around in small circles.
Very tight, small circles. So you remember Paul
I do remember Paul
And Christopher.
and
Yeah.
Christopher and Evan over
and
there.
Evan
That's-
behind the
that's
camera.
Evan,
And
yes.
you know, it's interesting of the last three you mentioned, Christopher now has a full-time position with the university that starts on the 1st of May.
That's good.
And
Excellent.
You've
Thank
gone
you.
for
Thank
that
you.
position. You're the executive director, is that
I
correct?
am the executive director,
No, the Taylor County History Center.
Taylor County History Center.
And then Evan, behind the scenes,
Yes.
has been awarded a very lucrative fellowship to the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, where he'll be studying public history at the master's level.
That is excellent.
Yay, Evan.
So we're having a turnover. Of
Evan was on fast track too. Didn't he graduate early and getting there beforehand? Is that right?
He's
Yeah.
nodding yes. He's nodding yes.
He's been burning it up,
Yeah.
and he wrote a really strong honors thesis on fast destroyer transports.
Fast destroyer transports.
That's right.
Yeah, they I've just read it.
Oh,
And,
yeah. You're on
and
his
I'm on his
board.
thesis committee, just like you are,
Yeah.
Don. And it basically he tries to make the destroyers, the transports, the main character of his narrative.
Wow.
In other words, what did they do during the Pacific War? And it's actually a really interesting story.
Yeah, we had a bunch of destroyers.
Right.
And so what do you do with all these surplus destroyers? And essentially the issue was, big transports were slow and easy targets. Destroyers were fast, but they couldn't carry any troops. So what do? Just hollow out half a destroyer and use it as troop transport.
Ah,
Cool
Yeah.
thesis.
Wow.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of cool things going on around here, but we wanted to circle back around and kind of close the story on where you guys are and what y'all are doing. So who do you want to start with, Paul?
Let's start with Scott since he's down at the end.
I'm down in my usual spot.
That's right.
Except I don't have to watch the time this time.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
Other people will do it for you.
Yes.
So, go ahead, Chris. What were you going to
Oh,
say?
well, I will say a good thing about having Scott here is I think the best episode of the Professor's podcast was the one where we didn't have a guest. It was just the three of you. It's titled Where We Get Our Holidays, and
Yeah.
it was filmed on Mardi Gras, which we'll cut to right now.
What do you think the United States National Forestry Queen is holding when she meets with President John F. Kennedy and the
Don't
Mardi
say
Gras crew?
Don't say it.
A twig.
No.
Some kind of wood?
No.
I didn't say it. He did.
Well, she's the forestry queen.
That's right.
She holding a
Smokey
squirrel?
the Bear.
Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear.
That's a good scene. I like that. I like that, Chuck.
Wow, how'd you do that? That's magic.
Okay.
So it's nice having Scott back
magic.
in the jolly banter position.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly. And my white shirt, I forgot about that. I'm really glowing over here.
That's
You
right,
should,
I mean,
you
we'll
should be
start
wearing the white
do
white
some.
things on the headphones.
Do
And
you want to switch? This is kind of a short.
No,
forward,
that's
but-
it's good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
So tell us about your life post
when
studio
when did you leave us?
Oh gosh, I left in.
Was it May or June of last year?
Yeah, June. It was June. You're exactly right. Towards the end of June of last year.
So it was almost a year ago
Yes,
that
almost
you
a year
left to go become executive director of Buffalo Gap Historic Village, the Taylor County History Center, whatever the
Right,
name of
right.
it is.
But people still identify with it being the village, and it's been the village for so long. People are going to still do that.
I never did understand the name change.
Yeah, well, that's a different story, Don.
But we know what that story is.
So it's all right that you call it that. And
Were you responsible for the name change? Should
no,
we
I
tell
was.
people what it is out there for those who are watching and don't know?
Well, it's it's a collection of 11 buildings out there that are a historic village, is what it is.
It's a building zoo.
Exactly.
A building zoo. That's an
Yeah, you
interesting
go
way
out
to
there-
put it.
Yeah, you can go out there and pet them.
Come and see
feed them.
see the animals at
Yeah.
the zoo. See
And
the
you actually
buildings at
can,
the zoo.
there's plenty of cats out there for you to see. So.
Do you still have the chickens too?
No chickens. The
Chickens-
chickens, as long as I'm there, the chickens will not venture back.
Okay,
That was
Chickens were cool when they were there, but that was a different time and place.
that's right. Okay, so anyway, go ahead.
And well, anyhow, so and you can come out and tour the village, and there's a modest fee to get in to see the buildings and everything. And we've got not lots of new things that are coming along. We've built a whole brand new entrance. So that was addressing some safety concerns we had with cobblestone walkways and stuff. We've gotten so much rain and stuff this past year. Man, it really got bad.
Real uneven on those field
Yeah.
stones. Yeah.
So now we have concrete connectors to the chapel, which we did that redo back in 2012. And so that's all redone and around the front part, and got a new front door. It's really cool to walk into one door, not two. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it was everybody was excited about the door. So, but we've redone the schoolhouse and the gas station, and we're in the finishing stages of those. So there'll be new permanent exhibits going into both of those buildings. So we've brought those buildings back up to what they were, and added to the schoolhouse exhibit a little bit to make it more of a true. It's supposed to be a one-room schoolhouse, but actually, the Cottonwood Flats schools, which it was actually turned out to be a two-room schoolhouse. They were kind of in high cotton.
Literally high cotton.
Yes, exactly.
So what is all right? So this place has been around since the late 50s.
Yes.
Buffalo Gap Historic Village. First as a Wild West museum, and then later on as
Ernie
Buffalo-
Wilson. Yes, yes.
And then Ann and Lee Rohde ran it for a while, and then the McWhinney Group had it for a while, and
Yes.
now it's
Well, we need to say,
which is
full disclosure,
full disclosure.
that you were in charge of it.
Well, I was in charge of the McWhinney Group, which ran it. There was
right.
other people that actually ran it, but
and you were in charge of the McWhinney Group and its involvement with it for how many years?
17 actually.
17 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
so-
it was sold to the Taylor
It
County.
was not
to-
sold. It
was
was
not.
donated.
It was donated, forgive me, to
Yes.
Taylor County.
That's right. So now the
And-
citizens of Taylor County own it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was a good transaction, and we all agreed that that's the way it should have went in the end. There were some rough
Should have gone that
spots
way
there.
in the beginning.
Yeah, that was. I like to call that BS. That was before Scott, so I had nothing to do with those.
But
decisions.
nobody was there to, pick up the slack. So McWhinney stepped in for 17 years.
Yeah. So, and it's not a lot has changed. I cut my teeth at McWhinney. I don't have a problem saying that, and I still run it pretty much the same way I ran it when I was with McWeeny. They had one person there that didn't quite cut the mustard, and we got a phone call one day, and that's how all this happened. So,
and I said, look, Scott's got the best institutional memory of anybody in the county. Probably ought to go back.
And they like me because I'm kind of a hands-on director. I don't mind getting out there and doing the work.
He's good in the sunshine.
Yeah, I am good in the sunshine.
For those who've never visited, how big is the whole place?
Oh, gosh. I don't know what
4 acres.
4 acres.
4 acres
3.5 or 4 within the fence.
And how many people work there?
We have 2 full-time, 2 part-time, and then I guess I should say 4 part-time. I have 2 part-time an office person, a maintenance person, and then 2 girls that are in college at Hardin-Simmons that work in the store area for me.
Okay.
And
small staff.
2,000 cats.
And
Yes.
2,000 cats.
Yes.
Who all have a job.
Yes. And we've actually got a naked cat running around right now.
One of those hairless cats?
He is now since we shaved him. He was matted so bad we had to go get him shaved. So everybody's like, what's wrong with that cat? But yeah, he's going to be okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it was always kind of an interesting relic of early Taylor County history, and the concept is the concept that was very current in the 1970s. And now it's being updated.
Okay,
Yes.
we got to take a break.
We do have to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Buffalo Gap Historic Village, and then we'll also talk about what Christopher is about to embark upon. We'll be right back.
Bear Leader Tours. Where will Bear Leader Tours take you? Everywhere. Paris, Rouge, Trier, battlefields, Pearl Harbor, Pacific beaches, Louisiana, Guadalcanal, Rome. Join the adventure.
www.mcwhinney.org.
When you support McWhinney History Education Group, you also support the many young workers who operate and maintain the company's digital operations. These are dedicated university students who handle many things such as filming, recording, and editing content for McWhinney, as well as cultivate the layout and structure of McWhinney's various websites, including its associated channel on YouTube. We are a nonprofit organization that exists from donations from interested persons and history enthusiasts alike. Donations enable our students to obtain a higher education, job training, and career bolstering skills. If you would like to donate, please visit us at www.mcwhinney.org and click on our About Us tab to learn more.
This portion of the show is reserved for advertisements. If you are interested in filling this portion with ads for your business, please call 325-793-4686 or email director@tfhcc.com.
And welcome back to the Professors. I'm Paul Fabrizio.
I'm Don Frazier, and we've got 2 special guests today.
We do. Blast from the past.
Scott Cloudis at the end, the Executive Director of the Taylor County History Center, and Christopher Bartlett, who has always been the studio manager and the man behind the scenes here.
So, really, Christopher is not the past yet, but he soon will be
He
because
is on
he's
short time.
deserting us.
Actually, he is finally following his career path.
Woo! And you graduated a year ago.
I did, yes. 2018.
So
Good.
we were fortunate to have him in our employ during all this time as we were doing the Professor's podcast, some educational material, etc. So appreciated Christopher's efforts. But we're talking with Scott right now.
Yeah, we'll get back to Christopher.
Yeah.
You just sit on the side.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Ask
Christopher,
questions.
I didn't-
You'll be
yeah.
engaged. So we're talking with Scott Cloudis about his time at the Buffalo Gap Historic Village.
Yep.
Rechristened the Taylor County History Center about a year ago. So what's the future?
The future holds that we will continue refurbing our buildings.
Yeah, because there's a lot of deferred maintenance out there.
There is, and so that is, like I said, the schoolhouse and the gas station. We're at the end of that cycle. This next fall.
Did we save the Dr. Pepper painting?
No.
Just finally flaked apart.
Yeah, and when we would look back, we know that was added on by an individual later on. Correct. So it really wasn't on that building
when it was in winters before it got
exactly.
Moved. Yeah.
So it's back to just white building with the 3 colored stripes for Magnolia gas station. So
I'm kind of a purist in that regard, so that's good.
Well, I was too, and then the guy that had painted that mural, of course, is older now and probably couldn't take that task on anymore. So
where's the building?
Yeah, exactly.
I got no idea what a Dr. Dicker. Yeah, I have no idea what it is. Dr. Pepper doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll, with the county, we'll get with the county and we'll go through and see what our next move is going to be.
Okay, so the county's calling the shots.
We make our recommendation, talk with them, and then we all kind of decide which way we want to go.
Okay, you're talking about the county.
Well, the county owns the
right.
facility.
No, but who do you talk to in the county? I mean, you're treating it like this entity that's a person, but
well, there's 5.
There's a poli-sci.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out.
I'm trying to know about governance.
Yeah. There's 5 different people I have to talk to at the county.
Okay, so you have to talk to the supervisors.
How many bosses do
you see? The county commissioners.
I talked to the county commissioners.
You talked to the county commissioners. So the 4 county commissioners plus the county judge.
Plus the county judge. Exactly right.
And that's who you report to.
It's who, yes, and I have 2 county commissioners that are on my board and on my executive board.
Okay.
So Brad Burcham and Chuck Statler are the one that said aye. Brad Burcham is that's his precinct.
Mm-hmm.
His county barn is in Buffalo Gap, so he is directly more involved with that than the rest of them were to a certain degree. Day-to-day basis, I see Brad more.
Sure.
But we have to present in front of the commissioner's court and everything else. This is what we're wanting to do, and then they vote on it, and we go from there.
Do you find that they have an active interest in it, or is it more that they just took this over and they're going to let you run it as you want to?
No, surprisingly, they have a pretty active interest in it. I didn't know what the vibe was going to be when I got there with that, but they are actively interested, and they all take a role in doing something.
That's cool.
That's so important.
And it's
critical. It's something we would love to have had for 17 years.
Because it's the county's kind of weird. The construction crew is under Kyle, and I've forgotten Kyle's last name. Sorry, Kyle. But his precinct his county barn is more out at Merkel, but his construction crew is underneath him.
Kendrick,
thank you. But they office downtown.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird deal, and there's 4 guys that are stretched out all over the whole county doing, construction stuff. So we kind of have to get our little time frame built, and we get them for this long, and we do with them what we can, and then we decide if we're going to outside the county and hire independent contractors to come in and do work, which I had to do with the schoolhouse and the gas station because we were working on the Riddell house and the entrance also. So,
so you're an employee of the county?
No, I am not.
You're not an employee.
I am an employee of the Taylor County History Center, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're set up very much like the Expo Center and the county's relationship. We're more of a managing group underneath the county, working for the county. So we pay our own part. We pay our salaries and our bills and all that kind of stuff, but it's all in the same common interest for the village or the center.
And so who pays for the construction stuff?
Well, we we have a little bit of county budget, which it didn't cost anybody, any taxpayers, any money. We get a little bitty budget line to address things that are safety issues or different things like that. So the county will pick up that part. The rest of it, the center will cover, and that's what we have fundraisers and things for.
Okay, so you make your money through the fundraisers and charging admission?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. So that's how we make, and then we have an endowment in place. It's been in place since, you tell me what year, Don. I couldn't remember what year Judy.
Probably 2009.
Yeah, and that was done. Judy Matthews did that. Judy had always been that was a fond memory of hers at the village, and so she put that in place. Of course, the community foundation holds it for us and everything.
Right.
So we have that money coming in every month for operations and stuff.
And you still host weddings out there? And other
we do
things?
the chapel and the Riddell House, like I mentioned a while ago. We just got the Riddell House.
Isn't it an
looking
Airbnb?
good.
You can actually stay overnight out there, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. You can rent it on Airbnb. Yeah. So, and it's actually been renting out pretty good.
Revenue
So
stream.
good.
That's great.
So there's lots of independent revenue streams. So
Yes.
really, taxpayer dollars is a tiny, tiny, tiny slice.
Yeah, yes. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Yeah. They just kind of made us a little bitty budget line out of some different departments. And yeah, that's kind of how it all pulled together.
Yeah, but there's some safety with the fact that you're with the county.
I mean, what's the role? I mean, does the county backstop? Yeah, that's a good question.
Exactly. Like if the county insures the land, the county takes care of the buildings. If anything major goes wrong, I can always go to the county. And I do have the backing of the county to back me up. We try not to have to do that.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because we're not trying to
In the old
be a
days,
leach.
They had the backing of the McWhinney Group.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and some and some cantankerous donors.
Yeah.
So we're tired of spending money on it. So.
And that's kind of the how it's working right now. So.
Okay, that's great. No, I'm very happy. I have happy memories of the place. So.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we all do. So shortly, 10 words or less, 5 years from now.
5 years from now, I hope to have at least the courthouse, the depot, and some other buildings refurbished.
Well, that would be huge.
It would be huge.
Some of those buildings need refurbishing. All
Yes.
right, we've got another segment, and we're going to start talking with Christopher Bartlett right after this.
Woo.
Welcome to State House Press, a nonprofit publisher of quality books. State House Press and the McWhinney Foundation Press are part of the Texas A&M University Press Consortium, which handles retail distribution for several small but distinguished publishers. Our entire list of offerings, with pictures, summaries, prices, and easy online ordering, is available in our section of the consortium website. State House Press is proud of its reputation for high standards of scholarship and readability. In addition to this, we at State House Press have recruited the talents of individuals such as Phil Collins on his book, The Alamo and Beyond. We release not only texana by contemporary authors, but reprints of classic accounts of Texas life and history otherwise inaccessible to the public. Our book list also incorporates the publications of the McWhinney Foundation Press, specializing in the history of the Old South and the Civil War. We strive with our titles to make history accessible to as many readers as possible. To accomplish this task, we have recruited some of America's leading historians, as well as bright new scholars. We believe firmly in narrative history, in telling a good story, and in telling it well, without losing sight of the people who've made history and the events that changed a nation.
For questions or business inquiries, please visit the Texas Book Consortium at www.tamupress.com.
And we're back. I'm Paul Fabrizio.
I'm Don Frazier. Christopher Bartlett, Scott Cloudis over to my right. And we're trucking along with a conversation with the past and the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of the past, because you have a class
I have
to
a
teach
class.
coming up.
My World War II class. I'm talking about strategic bombing.
Man.
So 8th Air Force, all that. I've got a kid in there whose granddad was in the 8th Air Force.
Oh, wow.
Or great-granddad. So he's got a lot of photos and memorabilia he wants to show and tell today.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow.
By the way, I just realized the 75th anniversary of D-Day is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
So
talk about that.
yeah, we have to talk about that one day. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
But you had a question for Scott.
Yeah, speaking of strategic bombing, what was the story I heard through the grapevine? You found something interesting.
Yes, we did. Yes, and through the grapevine. That's
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, it was actually on the news, but yeah.
Oh,
And it was also in Frontier, Texas, many years ago.
And I just want to ask, do you have your microphone on, or did you turn it off?
I did not touch my microphone.
Okay, it sounds a little weird. Your microphone.
See, we got all this engineering
Yeah.
stuff here.
Okay.
I'll turn up the volume.
It sounded like you had an echo, or like you weren't speaking directly in your microphone. But
Sorry, is that?
Ooh,
That's
man, it
better.
sounds like Evelyn.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So whatever it is.
Elvis Presley.
All right. So tell us about a
Elvis.
cannonball.
Okay.
Elvis.
And just interesting fact that the history had been in place that we had always told, and Don knows this, that the original Taylor County Courthouse was always had cannonballs in the walls.
Mhm.
They
So it
used
was, we didn't know if it was folklore or if it was the real deal because we'd never probed inside.
we never probed inside, so and they kind of used them like a mortise tendon type deal. There was a company out of Austin that did some pro bono work for us that JES, and they actually worked on the Washington Monument when they had all the cracks in the monument and stuff.
Yeah,
So it's kind
after
of
that
their
earthquake up
gig.
there.
They do a whole lot of historical stuff like that.
Cool.
So they've done a bunch of work on courthouses, and a guy here by the name of Mr. Berger here in town said, "Hey, we need to come out and look at this deal." So they came in, and they had ground penetrating radar and wall penetrating radar, and we're looking for these cannonballs and things, and we're having a hard time finding these cannonballs. Now, I mean, we're hitting joints where we thought they were going to be and everything, and what we actually found out is the courthouse is actually double walled. It's got an airspace in it
With rubble fill.
With rubble fill.
Yeah.
So it's about 10 inches thick, rubble fill, and about 10 inches thick.
So it's not big solid blocks of this.
Exactly,
sandstone
which
and-
we didn't know that either.
Yeah,
So anyhow, we
kind of do that.
yeah, we got to looking for these cannonballs, and I'm looking for a cannonball like a mountain houser
Or,
size.
yeah, 12-pounder solid shot. Yeah.
Exactly is what I was expecting to see. So we had gone up. We're right by the jail cell. And we're looking through the interior walls and stuff like that. And there is a place where the plaster has fallen out, and there's a pretty revealing crack there.
Mhm.
Not anything structural. The plaster just falling out of the walls. It's old. It's going to happen. So, courthouse has been through a lot.
A lot. Several lives. It turns out.
Yes. And so I'm just sitting there where I was like, there's a big crack up there in that wall. Let's go look up in there. And
Stick your finger in there, Scott.
Yeah.
So is that what you
Here,
did?
hold my
You
beer.
started probing on
I
your
had
own?
probing with my cell phone light and looking up in this crack, and there it is.
A cannonball.
A cannonball. And we actually ended up finding like 4 more of them. But they are, after I'd talked, because, I'm on the phone with Frazier because I'm like, hey, I found this.
So
What
many different
is it?
species of cannonballs.
Yeah. And I said it looked like a grape shot to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were several different varieties of grape shot, but, I
Who
called the
did?
guy that knew,
Mhm.
So, and he was like, tell me what tell me
Give
what
me
it
the
looks
dimensions.
like and all that. And it turned out to be a naval grape shot.
Yeah.
So we have been depicting the history of the courthouse correctly for many years. And that was a really cool thing to me that we proved what we had been telling the story of. That
Sure.
It came.
Well,
but
that's good.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
find out you're
it's
telling
always
the
nice to be
truth.
accurate. Look,
Yeah.
not everything out there is accurate. I mean, there's a historical marker out there that talks about all the hangings and stuff like that, and we've got all the paperwork on the court out there, and
There's
wasn't any-
no hangings.
There was no hangings. Yeah.
But what's interesting about those cannonballs is they were just part of the fill rubble
Mhm.
and not necessarily used.
To anchor anything.
to anchor things.
Now,
Wow.
these were cannonballs from what, the Civil War?
Yeah, they were supposed to have gone to Vicksburg with a wagon. There's Juanita Zachary wrote a book that kind of tells some of the story
History of rural Taylor County.
Yeah, and they have a picture of this guy that went with a wagon. They told him to pick up some cannonballs. Why they thought that, but Don explained to me that because they had used munitions and new munitions.
Tons of them
laying around and selling. I mean, they didn't have anything else to do with them, so get rid of them. So I guess we went and got a load of cannonballs and brought them back, and they were used for that, and no telling what else, you know. So
okay, very good.
Yeah,
So
kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so should we talk to Captain Bartlett?
Mr. Bartlett, yes, indeed. Yeah. Sir.
I like that.
You like Captain. Okay.
Oh, I do.
Now, you graduated with a degree in art something.
Yeah, graphic design.
Graphic design.
That was my major.
Okay. But you've got background and some DNA in the video biz. Because your father, Bob Bartlett, has been a longtime fixture in the local news scene.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, and that's where he got that great radio voice. So you came in and started working for us because you had that experience, and boy, you were able to step in and just take off with it. But then all of a sudden, McMurray took a change that would affect your destiny. Describe that.
Exactly. Well, I asked the guys who hired me how my name came up, and I thought they were talking to you or something, but apparently what had happened was on the day that I don't park here by the library, I had to park over by Aldersgate or something, and so I was crossing the campus, and I walked past Old Main where their office is, and I walked past their windows, and they were all standing by the window, and they were like, "That's the guy we need to get for this new position."
Well,
so it was pretty funny.
Okay, wait.
We got to back it up, though.
Yeah, right. Just because you're walking by a window, we got to hire you?
For starters, McMurray has never had a huge commitment to advertising and PR, in my experience. It's always been very, very ad hoc. And really the lion's share of that sort of budget and that approach had always been through athletics. But
we're trying to change that.
Well, that's it. And that's kind of what's cool for me is that the university finally, the trustees finally came to the conclusion that, no, we actually need a vice president for marketing. Because we've got to sell a product here. And so once that started happening, there started being staff that was attracted. First, it was through the advancement group. So it's kind of an adjunct to fundraising, but now it's its own separate entity. And what they needed was somebody that could do what Christopher can do. They needed someone with a particular set of skills.
Very good. So you're like a videographer? Is that a good title for you?
Yeah, my title officially is content specialist, and so
he's actually a predator, pro editor, production editor.
So, content specialist.
It sounds better than predator.
I fought for it, but
they didn't. And that was good.
Predator.
So, what is a content specialist?
I do mainly all the video and sometimes photography, video content that they put on Facebook or their website. So
you focus on digital stuff.
Yeah. Together, you and I have probably done north of how many videos? 600?
Sure.
I mean, between all the classes and the professors, that was never done under the guise of the university at all.
No, it was done under the McWhinney Foundation.
Yeah, the McWhinney Group did all that stuff. Scott helped with that. Christopher helped with that. And then one day, the university discovered video. So they had to have somebody that could produce video, and
so they stole our guy.
Well, I would like to not call this poaching.
Okay.
Because Christopher needed a full-time gig.
Correct. No, we're happy
and the
for
university needed someone in that position full-time.
Yes.
So it's a happy accident that it all came together. Even if it was on that Epiphany Day when you walked by their windows and they said, "Ooh, we got to have some of that."
Yeah, we've been in this transition period for the last couple months.
I like the way he tells the story better.
Yeah, Christopher's version's way better.
I'm just deeply troubled by it. But anyway,
Yeah, it's a strange story, but whatever.
this is how we make hiring decisions.
That's exactly right. It's the origin myth. He sprang from the forehead of Zeus.
You and Kim Jong-un, you know.
That's right. Anyhow, we're going to visit with Christopher more about his new position and kind of where all that's going and where the school's going right after this.
History has become one of the most fought-over battlegrounds in terms of shifting people's views and opinions about their country. In response to this, we have decided to launch a website called Go To History that will become your home for clear-eyed history content. Our objective is to put history out there, free of agendas, and allow you, the viewers, to decide what you believe and decide how to interpret this information. With experienced professors such as Dr. Don Frazier and Dr. Stephen Hardin teaching courses and creating agenda-free content for students and just plain history enthusiasts, the content of Go To History is vastly informative and unbiased.
History people, it's Phil Collins here. I am just giving a shout out to a couple of guys that you're going to be hearing from. And they're good friends of mine, but they're also incredibly knowledgeable historians. Dr. Donald Frazier and Dr. Stephen Hardin. Both great friends of mine, both helped me out with my book on the Alamo. And two guys, if you don't know much about history, these are the first two guys you should go to. Okay, what they don't know isn't worth knowing. Don Frazier, Steve Hardin, I hope you enjoy their presentations.
My name is Evan Williams, a history major at McMurray University, and I love the layout of the Go To website. I mean, it is singularly built from the ground up with user convenience in mind. Every study available is within a single courses tab, with each lesson having a single page for each of its individual videos, text, visuals, and quizzes, all at easy grasp. This is most definitely history made simple.
Please log on to www.gotohistory.com.
And we're back. I'm Paul Fabrizio.
I'm Don Frazier. We're talking with Christopher Bartlett and Scott Cloudis. Now, Scott, you actually hired Christopher on behalf of McWhinney.
Yes, I
as
did.
we were producing all the tons of video content.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we were just discussing. I was trying to remember that, but we hired Christopher in starting of his junior year. He'd been working over at KTAB, is that correct? KRBC, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, but he had been, camera crew during the news,
Production
assistant, all that kind of stuff. So he kind of had some credentials that we were looking for.
Had some chops.
Yeah, and because we were building Diogenes Lantern during that time.
Right.
And GoToHistory.com.
And Go To History, yes. And we were filming, I think we started with Don.
Yeah, Texas History came first, didn't it?
Or did we already?
Yeah.
I wasn't a part of that.
Okay.
That was the crew before this.
That was a crew before, so we started with Hardin and we came in.
His,
okay.
Revolution.
So,
Texas History.
Yeah, Dr.
Texas
Hardin, I should say. Yeah.
Texas History.
So we started.
Inside joke, sorry.
Yeah.
I missed it. So.
Scott knows what I'm talking about. I mean, Hardin would take 3 or 4 takes to see which inflection on the right syllable he wanted to do. So it's always,
we love him, though.
Yeah, the kids were always just cracking up. College students are a little irreverent.
They are irrelevant.
Trying times. Yeah. I was trying not to laugh when he said that, but I couldn't help it. So, so Christopher was very instrumental in getting all those videos and things put together. And I think Don said, we were talking about during the break, that, between McMurray, that's kind of a tongue twister right there, and everything else that we've produced under McWhinney out of this studio for the school and for McWhinney's purposes. There's more than 600 now.
Yeah, I mean, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
So that's lots of video work.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of video work. So, because that editing takes time, doesn't it, Christopher?
Yeah, sometimes.
Especially when you're looking for, pictures that
that's
people
the
that
biggest
really
problem.
that are really not out there. So,
and they're also copyright free. Thank you, Library of Congress. Taxpayer dollars at work.
So, he's got his foundation was built pretty stable right here in the studio, and I think he'll probably do a really good job for the school carrying that on. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very encouraged by what I see coming out of y'all's shop, because it's something that we've all thought the school needed for a very, very, very long time, and now all of a sudden it's everywhere. I mean, Motivational Mondays, I've been on one of those. Any special event that's been going on, there's been some stuff with the track and field team and their stellar performances and recently in competition. So, yeah, it's all of a sudden we're getting video is the medium of the age.
Right.
And so it's nice that this is happening.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So,
it's a good thing that I love editing.
And that you're good at it.
Yeah.
yeah, you are good, and that's
Because if you
another deal.
stunk at it, that would be bad.
Right.
We're putting video out. It's just bad video. No, we're putting
Is
out
this
great
how
video.
you envision spending your career?
Yeah.
Are you doing what you want
Where are
to do?
you in 5 years?
Oh, I have no idea where I am.
Will you be restored and renovated?
Maybe. My ultimate goal, I think, is to edit future films,
Okay.
movies, and
That's what you'd like to do.
that's what I'd like.
Be out in L.A.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
or
work-
Austin.
Yeah.
because it's so close.
Go
Maybe-
to Austin. LA's really overrated.
Really?
We went
Whoa,
one
whoa,
time,
whoa.
and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I know you're from out there,
that's
but
my
Cali boy,
home.
Cali
That's
boy.
my home.
I was like, ooh.
We had abalone out there in San Diego.
We did.
Well, that
you
explains
know,
things.
And that's
Did you not like abolone?
No.
oh, that was
I
good.
thought it was tasty.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I didn't. But anyway, that's okay.
I'm not trying to downplay your
I
state.
understand.
but
I
yeah.
understand.
Austin's way cooler. Just tell it.
That's true. We're down there from time to time too. Maybe you could be the guy that puts together my feature-length film. Come and take it.
Hey, all right.
It's just
You're
a
doing
play
a-
now.
Right, yeah.
You're gonna. Are
You
we going to
have
film
dreams,
with
too.
that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows where it'll go? It would make a good screenplay, I think. Right now, we just need to see if it'll make a good play.
Oh, I thought you did the play.
Well, we did a read on it,
Okay.
and
okay.
that went well.
Okay.
So I'm still talking to people that are interested in developing it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's good because that's there we go again. I've been gone for a year. Didn't know what all was happening with that. Hadn't heard about the movie
You
rights.
don't call,
and all
you
that.
don't write. I mean, you go down to Buffalo Gap and it's like a vortex. And he's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a time warp down
It
there.
is a time warp.
Time warp.
There's not a lot that's on a true square, and it's a time warp.
Yeah,
Everything's measured with a calendar instead of a clock.
exactly. And I do call. So
Yeah, I think I call you more.
I found a cannonball.
Yeah,
Tell
what
us
is
about
it?
it.
And it may be a mill ball bearing, frankly, on the cannonballs.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, all machinery has ball bearings in it. And a lot of times grape shot and ball bearings for like big heavy machinery, especially mill works, are about the same size.
Oh, so it might not be a cannonball.
May not be, but
We're going with the
we're going with the cannonball.
with the story.
don't ruin my story.
Now, Christopher just wrote notes. What does that mean?
Oh, that.
Something you want to say in our last couple minutes?
Yeah, sure. So many things.
So many things.
Should we talk about our my successor?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is now, there is a line of succession. It's like apostolic succession. We have to lay hands on the next guy that comes in.
We will have a swearing-in ceremony, which, depending on when it happens, when we put this up on YouTube, I could probably fit that in right here. Okay. Mr. Senator, are you ready to take the oath of office? Sure. If you'll please place your left hand on the not bayou, blood on the bayou, and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jonathan, middle name Samudio.
I, Jonathan, middle name.
I was hoping you'd say your middle name. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the position of studio manager,
the position of studio manager,
effective May 1st, 2019,
effective May 1st, 2019,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the legacy of Grady McWhinney.
the legacy of Grady McWhinney.
Where others blindly follow the truth,
Where others blindly followed the truth,
remember, nothing is true.
remember nothing is true.
Where others are limited by morality or law,
Where others are limited by morality or law,
remember,
Remember,
everything is permitted.
everything is permitted.
Where others blindly video game. Where others blindly follow reality.
Where others blindly follow reality.
Remember, nothing is real.
Nothing is real.
Where others are limited by opinions and prejudice.
Where others are limited by opinions and prejudice.
Remember,
Everything
is biased.
everything is biased.
That's
So-
a very cynical view.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Rice or not? Alright. That was one of the weird.
Okay, so there you go. And
So schizophrenic.
yeah, and
I missed that clip where they.
But it's John Samudio.
yes,
John's a good
which
guy.
you saw.
Which you just saw in the
You
clip.
saw, yeah. I was gonna do a clip of him when your brother was here, and he was sitting right there.
Don't get too excited here.
Because I wasn't
It's
here.
okay.
Talking about Johnny makes me so excited. But anyway,
He's a physics major from Keller,
hmm
and so it'll be completely
which I
different.
don't know where that is, but
It's
go ahead.
north of Fort Worth.
Okay,
And so
I know where that is.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Since you did for your honors thesis, you know,
Windshield history.
well, yeah, that started in Fort Worth and came to Abilene.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're able to find Fort Worth. But it'll be different than having someone that's in the arts end of the world, because John is a technician. I mean, he's going to end up going a long way down the engineering road sometime in his future. So we now got a physics major helping us produce history and political science
Yeah.
content.
He's a smart kid.
very smart
Very
kid.
smart.
He's
very
going to
lucky.
elevate us all.
Well, and what's been interesting is I was able to recruit the crew that helps put all this magic together through my freshman seminar class.
Mhm.
So you can identify incoming talent and then
And
say,
then
hey,
grab them.
yeah, if you guys would like to have a
Oh, that's another thing
Part-time
we didn't
job.
talk about. You were in on the training of all those freshmen
Oh,
coming
yeah.
in here.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the,
how'd you like that?
yeah.
It was fun.
Really?
A little bit.
Yeah, so that was
We're gonna
historical
go a little
trends.
over.
We're going to go a little over. We're on the last 11 seconds otherwise.
Yeah,
So
but you have 11 minutes until your class. Can you hold on a little bit more?
Sure, just as long as you have something to say.
I
okay,
always
go
have
ahead. Go
this.
ahead.
Well, I hope you guys liked the new title sequence. I don't know if you guys have seen it. But,
Not yet.
Yeah, this is what the 33rd.
Don't we get to say?
I don't know if we get
no,
a
that's
say
the
or
thing
not.
about Christopher. He likes it. It works.
Yeah. This is what the 33rd episode of the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Really? Of the
I
professors?
think so.
Wow.
5 of them quite good.
And the remainder? Well,
So what are your
four? I'm not counting this one, but
So what are your top 5?
oh, I was just saying a number, but it's certainly the one with the 3 of you was there.
That we saw a clip of earlier?
Yeah, and I don't know, a
okay.
couple others. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you think as a going away present for me, I could have that wireless mic,
What wireless mic?
the one for the laptop that Scott used to own?
What?
Is that your phone? Yeah, that's Scott's phone.
Sorry.
That's what happens when you're executive director.
Exactly.
People call him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to call you.
What wireless mic?
I can go
Are
get-
you sure
or,
that
sorry,
wasn't a?
wireless mouse? Sorry,
Oh, that
I
makes
don't.
a
I don't
big
want
difference.
a wireless mic. I want a wireless mouse.
Well, why would we give you?
Just as a going away present.
Well, why not just buy you lunch and call it good?
Okay.
It was the wireless.
Let's just do that.
So I have to say, one of my favorite episodes
Yeah,
back when we began this is when your brother was on.
Yeah.
And
Which-
making inappropriate comments
about them?
because yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Talking about my mom
yes, yes,
and my dad being a checker player.
yes.
My mom was pregnant a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Dad was a checker player. She moved, he'd jump her. Anyway, the first family grew up in a very stable, same home.
Yes, and
He
that
needs to be
was
back on.
Yeah. He's going with me to Italy
Oh,
in
really?
a couple of weeks. That'll be an interesting trip.
Oh, see, you didn't tell me that the Italy trip made.
Yeah, Italy trip's rocking and rolling.
Good. How many people you got going with you?
16.
Good.
Yeah.
past travelers that went with us to other places?
Yes, we do. We have past travelers that were with us in Europe,
Good.
and 3 of them actually. No, 5 of them.
5.
5 of the
That's good.
16 are alums of Bear Leader Tours trips.
Wow.
Yeah, Scott
Watch
went with
out,
us.
Italy.
When Scott was on board, he went with us and
Right.
did a 2-week tour through battlefields and sites in northeastern France. Normandy, Belgium, Luxembourg, Western Germany.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't make it to Italy. We were supposed to make it to Italy the next summer, and then things got rough over there.
Yeah,
so.
when we were transitioning away from Buffalo Gap Historic
Yeah.
Village, and so that killed the Italy trip then. But we revived it, and it's made, and
That's good.
And you
That's
leave in a
good.
couple of weeks.
June 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the PowerPoint deal I put together for that was put to good use. The agenda deal, yes. So.
Yes, it is still, and pretty similar to the itinerary that we built.
Good,
So
good.
anyhow,
Makes me feel good. I did something.
oh,
while I
you
was
did a lot.
here,
I
you know.
mean, you hired Christopher, you managed him, got all this crew set up.
And
I
then
mean,
you took off.
Well, and he navigated the transition from McWhinney owning Buffalo Gap Historic Village to now Taylor County owning, and he's even followed that back to running it. So
And let's not ever go through
Is
anything
is
like
that sort of
ever
like
again.
is
Yeah,
that
that
sort
was
of like a
grim.
Dick Cheney kind of thing? How he became vice president?
Yeah, with a
trying to make
whole lot
political
less money, I
statement.
think. Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
but it's nice to know that all the time and investment that we put into
Pardon
Buffalo
me.
Gap
Is
building
Finally
it
paid
up
off.
is now in good hands to continue on
right,
into the future.
and all the time you spent investing in Christopher Bartlett.
is now going
Going
to the benefit of the university, which ultimately will benefit what
Us.
you and I do.
Yeah.
And Evan's going to
employees.
where Evan's been with us for his whole McMurray
Yay.
career.
Oh
and
man,
he's
I
gone on to
remember
bigger and
meeting
better
Evan for the
things.
first time. We need to have Evan kind of stick his head in the camera.
Give him a round of applause.
Here he comes. Watch out.
Hello, everyone.
Well, get your head in there. There you
Hello.
go.
All right,
Okay.
now you can go back. Back to your cage.
That'll be the thumbnail.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of
No, no.
there has been a lot of kids that have came out of this little program over here that
Yeah.
we've been doing that have gone on and done some
Some
you know
great things. There's a
And I-
couple of them have earned their master's degrees. One at Northern Arizona University, one at Baylor. There's probably.
I guess
upward-
one of them's still at the Alamo, working at the Alamo.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got one that's working at the Alamo. They're all over the place. You're right. This has been a pretty interesting little workshop over here, and
It has
where
been.
our kids go on and
How many
Flourish.
studio managers were there before me?
um
One.
one
Really?
Scott
Really?
hired you. You've
And
put your
now?
hands on some media. Yeah, we don't know if he needs to change his name.
And I wasn't so much studio manager. I was just over here doing it with a couple of students,
Yeah.
and then we decided we were going to have to get a little bit more organized to get this thing done.
See, that's
So-
what I thought. I thought
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was somebody else before me.
Well, we finally figured out when we were doing Don's videos and stuff that this takes way more time than what we ever thought it was going
Lots of time.
yeah.
to. So,
So anyhow, all right.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, and
I have
thank
to
you
head
guys
to
for having
class.
me. Yeah.
And it has been a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I'm deeply indebted to these two guys.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Well,
and
And
Evan.
we
y'all.
both wish you the very best.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Evan
Well,
stuck his
don't
head
be
in the
strangers
I'll come back
in the
anytime y'all want me
vortex
to.
of
Yeah,
Buffalo.
me too. Me too.
Well, all you got to do is summon him. You saw how that works.
Yeah.
It just kind of go wide on the camera and he shows up. I think there's a lot of metaphors there. Anyhow,
And Christopher just opened the window.
just open the window. Hey, what's going on? Where'd you hide this? How come that wireless mouse is missing?
No, you're not getting it as a
Why
gift.
not? It was probably cheap.
Because usually we don't let people that are going on to other positions loot the studio. I mean, that's just a bad precedent. What are you, a vandal? Some sort of.
I'll buy it. How about this?
A
Rich is wearing,
vandal.
well, why don't you go buy a new one?
Oh my gosh! All over a wireless mouse.
It's just crazy. I
All
don't
right,
understand
on that note,
it. Take us out, Paul.
we're going to go. So, in the meantime, class dismissed.